we wouldn't even begin to understand the intricacy of this particular system. We only got to see a small piece from the Epstein files, right? Because the Epstein files not only dealt with child trafficking, it dealt with presidents in high places, princes in the UK. It dealt with oil. It even dealt with the creation of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin.
Yes.
What is Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Bitcoin?
Jeffrey Epstein was into Bitcoin before 90% of the people who are now supporters of it even knew it existed. Not only that, he actively supported the industry. Epstein funded the developers, the people running the operating system, secretly through the MIT Media Lab.
The MIT Media Lab?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. There's a big article on this in 2019 in the New Yorker. And then with the most recent emails, we have confirmation that, yes, Epstein paid secretly for these. He was, by the way, in 2008, he had pled guilty to solicitation of an underage person.
Yes.
So he was a registered sex offender.
Correct.
Right? Before he ever heard about Bitcoin, before he made these investments, they knew he was a sex offender, obviously. And then he also did other things. He invested in Coinbase. He put $3 million into Coinbase. It appears that executives knew that the money was coming from Epstein. So why? Why would Jeffrey Epstein be into crypto?
Well, what's your theory?
Well, if your core businesses are money laundering and human sex trafficking, dark money that's hard to trace would be pretty handy. And the crypto advocates want to say, they'll use this argument. They're like, well, people use dollars for crime. Yeah. So let's make the crypto follow the same rule as the US dollar then. Let's regulate these crypto exchanges as banks and see if they can pass muster.
Right.
They can't, and they don't want to. They would be terrified of that because they can't do it.
When you plug all of those pieces together, this ain't just child trafficking. This ain't just a sick man that's having sex with children. Mm-hmm. This is a sick man that had a lot of power within the world. When you got princes at your phone dial, you got presidents of the United States at your phone dial. You are part of the team that created Bitcoin, which is the leading cryptocurrency in the world. Mm-hmm. This is why I said we don't even begin to understand the intricacy of the web of power that is that back in the day, I'm in my early 40s. Back in the day, I watched cartoons. We used to watch the cartoons with the villain wanting to take over the world and things of that nature. We're watching that right now.
You're right. It's just one ant.
Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant.
Did that hurt?
Nope.
How about this one? Are you kidding? How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
This quote by Hopper is a powerful metaphor for how power structures work in society. It reflects how a small, oppressed group can overthrow a much stronger force if they unite. In real life, this applies in a number of areas, for example, movements like workers' unions, civil rights protests, or even revolutions. Take, for example, the Montgomery bus boycott during the civil rights movement. Individually, people refusing to ride the bus seemed small, but when thousands stood together, they forced change. Or think about unions. Individually, workers might feel powerless against a big company, but collective bargaining gives them a voice. Hopper's fear is the fear of those in power. The realization that their strength lies in the masses not knowing their potential. It's a reminder that unity is a game changer, and those in control know it.
Yes, sibling. Come on.
But guess what? They're now playing villain and superhero. That's how they tricked us into thinking that Donald Trump was going to come through.
I was the first president in decades who started no new wars, no new wars. We don't need the wars.
You insisted no new wars.
First of all, I didn't guarantee no war. When you say I promised, I didn't promise anything. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. Lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. She would get us into a World War III guaranteed, and then all of your sons and daughters will end up getting drafted to go fight for a war in a country that you've never heard of. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We go to war, we bomb the crap out of it, and then we leave. You know, it's almost like, what are we doing? What did we get? We got nothing. We destroyed. I mean, we bombed the hell out of everything. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
And, you know, oh my goodness, Biden was doing this, or, you know, they especially when it comes to United States politics. And United States politics is very important because of the direction that when United States usually goes in a certain direction, the frequency of the planet kind of goes in that direction as well. So when it comes to Donald Trump and Joe Biden, you have to understand that these guys are better than the Jamaica relay squad. They're better than Usain Bolt and Osafa Powell and all of those great sprinters that we've seen from Jamaica. They are better at passing that baton and finishing on the last leg. Because let me tell you something. If you think that Obama is any different from Donald Trump, then you've lost your mind.
Yep.
Obama is no different than Donald Trump, no different than George Bush to Donald Trump, no different than Joe Biden is to Donald Trump. They are following a heavy script.
Yes. Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And they're only passing the baton to the next person. Let me give you an example. And we did this, I think, on your last show, but it needs to be a reminder. Let's start Bush in the early 1990s, right? George Bush was in the Middle East, right? Because of terrorism, right? Because he had to get rid of Saddam Hussein and he's a threat to democracy and all of these different things, right? Then he passed the baton to Mr. Bill Clinton, right? What did Mr. Bill Clinton do with that baton? He said, I'm going to stop what's going on in the Middle East and we're going to focus on what's going on at home. And who is the domestic threat at home? That's black folk. So what did he do? He passed the 1994 crime bill.
Crime bill, come on.
Black folk are a threat to this society. They are criminals. They are not good for society. So we need to have a prison industrial complex in which we can house these people, right? And we're gonna lock them up for whatever reason, and we're gonna keep them there, only to go forward later and Bill Clinton for him to say that it was a mistake.
So that's an important part of your agenda. And the president spoke a long time yesterday and very well about this criminal justice reform, and I appreciate what he has done, but I want to say a few words about it because I signed a bill that made the problem worse, and I want to admit it. And but here's what happened. When I took office, we had had a roaring decade of rising crime. We had gang warfare on the streets. We had little children being shot dead on the streets who were just innocent bystanders standing in the wrong place. We had kids in Los Angeles doing drills in their schools to learn how to drop down and get under their desk because of people just doing random drive-by shootings. And violent crime in America had tripled in the previous 30 years, and the police force had only increased by 10%. So we put 100,000 more police on the streets so they could be tied to the community. And we passed the Brady Bill and the assault weapons ban, which had a ammunition limit on the clips, as I remember, of about 10 bullets. And we passed funds to give people something to say yes to in the after-school hours, not just to say no to. But in that bill, there were longer sentences. And most of these people are in prison under state law, but the federal law set a trend. And that was overdone. We were wrong about that. That percentage of it, we were wrong about.
Earlier this year, a South Carolina voter told your daughter, Chelsea, quote, "I think a lot of African Americans want to hear, you know what, we made a mistake." Chelsea said she's heard you apologize, but went on to say that if the voter hadn't heard it, then, quote, it's clearly insufficient. Do you regret your advocacy for the crime bill?
Well, look, I supported the crime bill. My husband has apologized. He was the president who actually signed it. Senator Sanders
what about
voted
you, Senator?
for it. I'm sorry for the consequences that were unintended and that have had a very unfortunate impact on people's lives. I've seen the results of what has happened in families and in communities. That's why I chose to make my very first speech a year ago on this issue.
To even do it in the first place.
Yes.
So what did he do? Pass the baton to Mr. George Bush. But if you look at the theme here, all the Republicans go after terrorism overseas.
Mm-hmm.
All the Democrats go after terrorism in the United States.
Yes.
Okay, so George Bush, what did he do? He went to Saudi Arabia, did what he had to do over there. What did Bill Clinton do? Came right here in the United States, did what he had to do to black people here.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go to George Bush. What did he do? Oh, we got to go back overseas to Iraq because they're a threat to the United States.
And
right?
democracy. They're a threat to democracy, remember?
That's right. And then what did George Bush do? Come back to Obama now. What did he do? There's a threat in the United States of America of homegrown terrorists, so we need to pass the NDAA Act.
And U.S. President Barack Obama has signed the defense bill despite serious reservations by critics over the handling of terror suspects. The new law means any person can be detained without charge. He's also brought into force the latest round of tough sanctions against Iran. Author and radio host Stephen Lendman says this may lead to U.S. war against Iran.
Obama is imperial. He targets dissidents. He targets whistleblowers. He is extremely repressive. He's going after one country in the Middle East after another. I use the phrase, his policy is ravaging the world, one country at a time. Syria's in the spotlight now. Iran absolutely is on the list, and there are others. Obama simply can't wait to start another war.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? Then Mr. Obama passed the baton to Mr. Trump.
Yes.
And what did Mr. Trump say? Oh my God, China brought COVID here. They are a domestic threat to us in the United States of America. Mm-hmm. Right? So all the Republicans dealing with whoever's overseas. Right? Then now we come back to who? Mr. Joe Biden. Oh my goodness. All of these immigrants are coming in the country.
Yes.
Once again, the threat is in the United States. So all the Republicans is overseas. All the Democrats is right here. They're going to cause damage in hell for those right here. And then now we're back to Mr. Donald Trump, who is leading us to Iran now. So it's like a ping pong ball relay race back and forth of terrorism, whether it's domestic or abroad. And this just keeps the ball rolling, keeps the game flowing, and they just passing the baton to each other. So Donald Trump is no different than George Bush, who ain't no different than Ronald Reagan, who ain't no different than any United States president to pass.
I'll
go ahead.
Pardon self. I'll add to that, sir. Trumpavelli, as I call him. He has, so far from what my rudimentary research, it's even crazy me saying that he's the president, man. It's nuts. For the second term, He's got more money out of being a president than any president, man. He's creaming the thing, boss. He's like, okay, yo, listen, what you stuck saying? Oh, you only at this price? But say less. I'm gonna put 6 million there as shares, right? I've got a press conference tomorrow. Yeah, Dow's doing wonderful, you know. I'm telling you, Dow's a good product. It's Americans, and we like this shit. Next thing you know, them stocks go woo. It's killing it. Baron Trump, the Nephilim giant, is about 12 foot tall. He has to crawl through flipping doors to get into rooms and shit, right? How much money did he make off that Bitcoin crash? He made some crazy millions.
You know what's the sickening part about all of this? The sickening part is that Trump will sit up there and tell you that America is as rich as it's ever been before. Mm-hmm. But I understand through psychology that the America that he's talking about is corporate America.
Yes.
Right? Corporate America is richer than it's ever been. Mr. Elon Musk is almost $1 trillion. I don't think people really understand how much $1 trillion is. $1 trillion is so much that I can give somebody $1 million a day for 31,000 years and they still won't reach $1 trillion.
Say that again.
Crazy that is?
Say that again, sibling.
You can give someone $1 million a day for 31,000 years and you still won't reach $1 trillion.
That should be that to me. I mean, again, how many times I have to say the same thing? Why is it millionaires, billionaire? Now we're talking trillionaire status, and do what with it? Yeah. Elon the muskrat, who came from money anyway. His father had those sapphire mines and all that in South Africa. Like which he was a colonizer. Yes.
Which he was a colonizer, and they want to sit here and act like, oh, I grew up in South Africa, I was so poor. Yeah. Absolutely not. He gave Elon $300 million and he had other kids.
Originally, the grandparents have no connection to South Africa. They're born and grew up in Canada. And in the 1930s, the grandfather, Joshua Haldeman, he's head of the Canadian branch of a US movement called Technocracy Incorporated. And Technocracy Incorporated is essentially a movement to overthrow democratic government in the United States and have technocrats, but big businessmen in many ways, come in and run the country. Through the 1930s, it takes on increasingly fascist overtones. They start wearing grey uniforms, modelled on the Nazi brown and black shirts. And so when Canada declares war on Germany in 1939 alongside Britain, the movement is banned because it's clearly sympathetic to Hitler. Elon Musk's grandfather is arrested. They find documents sympathetic to the Nazis and other subversive documents inside his house, and he is sent to prison for a few months and then remains on essentially a subversion watch list for the rest of the war. Yeah, so he's basically regarded as a Nazi sympathizer, a fellow traveler.
The big concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be a very, very bad thing to happen. You want to see the US go down? Why? Oh, you don't like cars and electric cars, and you don't like technology, or what is it? You want to go back to the jungle, or?
If the US becomes a minority white country.
Yes.
So there's Latinas, there's blacks, there's people from all different races make up the majority, and then, you know, it could be 48% white people. Do you really think the US is doomed if it goes under?
Yes, it goes under there.
Seriously?
Yes, of course. You see, if you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people.
No.
For decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work, we fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group. That's not oppression, that's feeding them. Do you understand? You only grow big if you get fed. You only start at 800 and become 50 million if you get fed. We fed them, for crying out loud. You know, enough with this nonsense.
But so you understand, because the black population was so oppressed under apartheid.
Well, we never saw this oppression you're talking about.
You never saw it.
No, I never saw it.
Yeah, because you're white.
Come on. And okay, this has just popped into my head since you've brought that point up. Based upon these the geo-social political terms, isn't Elon Musk an African American now?
Yes, he is. He is
sibling.
Yeah, he's African American. But the sickening part about it is that Black Americans, right, would want you to give up the title, right? Give up the title of African American, which is fine. You should give it up, because these are the labels that are given to you when you got to fill out applications, when you got to do all of this stuff, right? They want to give up the title, but yet they don't want to create a situation and circumstance for themselves where they can, I guess the word that I'm looking for is create a new status for themselves.
Yes.
Right? How about you create a status for yourself in which now you can say, okay, I've been labeled this for quite some time, but now in order to get our vote, in order to get our money, in order to get our anything that you want from us, this is what we're going to call ourselves. This is what you must call us. Look at what happens with the Jews. The Jews, you can't just go out there and just say their name just like that.
Come on.
Or you're going to be labeling anti-Semitic. Right? But on the other side of that, we also got to understand that Jews are white people too. Don't get it twisted. So white folk gonna look out for white folk regardless of how you want to slice the pie.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Outside of those little locks. Real quick.
That Jew is no different than Elon Musk, is no different than Donald Trump. And that was my point. My point is they all three Caucasians in three different aspects, but they got the same mindset.
Why is the white man always vilified for this when it was the Jewish ships and the Arabs that were actually the biggest part of the slave trade?
You have to look at who is dominant in history as far as academia, literature, the publishing houses. Most of them are Jewish ran. It's just like with the mafia. Most people think Italian when it comes to the mafia, but it's really Jewish. Jews are behind the books. Meyer Lansky was the banker of the mafia. He handled the books. So it's like with everything else. The Jews will be behind the scenes. They'll put the blame on whites. They'll put the blame on Italians, or the blames on others. That's how they stay hidden to do their thing.
The Jew, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk, even though Elon Musk is African American, even though Donald Trump is European American,
yes,
and even though the Jew is also European American, they all have the same three goals in mind, which is to dominate the planet and dominate other races. But go ahead, Ken. I apologize about that.
No problem, man. You got to get it out, boss. And that was vital you got that out, because you're hitting on some keys, man. You're hitting on some keys right now. It's the problem of sorts is, and I think this is an age old. I think when I first in 2009, when I was awaking and trying to understand our story kind of thing, I was hearing this conversation. What do we, as black people, as original people, what collectively can we come under? I'm hearing the Morris brothers talking about, well, we should call ourselves Moors, man. What are you talking? Simple, man. The status, look at the Black Laws Dictionary, look at all these things. We should be calling ourselves Moors.
Well, you know, I addressed this a while ago.
Yes.
I addressed this a while ago, and I think it's very silly, you know, especially when it comes to the Moors, for them to claim sovereignty, and they're still under the laws of the land and under the laws of the nation, right? That they're seeking to get this type of freedom from. And the reason why I'm wording it that way is because if you are sovereign, you don't need to ask another country or another empire for your status.
Facts.
That's why before you even brought up the term more or anything like that, I said, okay, we can adopt that term, but we need to build our own status.
Exactly.
So when you come to us, you address us as this.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So it goes the same thing with Moors. Moors want the status, but they don't want to build themselves to that, right? So they're trying to link themselves to a country. Oh, we come from Morocco. Oh no, it ain't Morocco. It's this nation. Oh no, it ain't that. Right. So they don't even know where they come from, right? And this is why, you know, Tara and myself, we offer Noon Science and the Science Noon, however you want to word it. We offer that to the people because we understand that we are cosmic beings, number one, and we are also global beings. Though we do come from Africa, our essence is solar.
Yes.
Right? And because our essence is solar, we call ourselves Ethiopian, not because of the country, right? So Ethiopia is the new country that has been arrived. But if you go back into any ancient map, if you go back into any ancient knowledge, Ethiopia was the name of the entire Africa.
Yes, sibling.
And the surrounding waters were called the Ethiopian Sea, but it was spelled differently. Instead of Ethiopian, it was A.
Yes.
Ethiopin. Right, so it was the Ethiopian, right, and that just meant that because when the
that's when the Roman and Greeks.
There you go. I was about to mention that when the Caucasians saw us, right, they saw that we were so black and so splendor as far as our melanin is concerned. They called it the burnt faces, right?
And then we go to Ethiopia, which we know today as Ethiopia. But what we need to understand is that term was first used not as a pejorative, but as a description going back to 800 BC. The first writer to use the term Ethiopia, and it was spelled as we spell Ethiopia today, but put an A on the front. So what did it mean? Well, it meant two things. Ethiopiaps was a combination of two words. Athio, which meant I burn, and ops meant face. So you put them together, it's burnt face. So then Ethiopia meant the land of the burnt face.
But when you translate the word further back, it really means to be shining, right? Or to have that glow to us, right? So we are full of fire and light.
Yes.
All right. So that's where the word Ethiopian comes from. So we are supposed to identify ourselves as Ethiopian.